We have to talk about ChatGPT induced spiritual psychosis. So a couple of weeks ago, if you want to scroll on my profile, I did a post about the rise of college students using ChatGPT and basically about how education is like eroding from the inside out. And I also talked about this article where people were losing their like loved ones to this belief that they could like access other dimensions and portals and talk to gods and demons and spirits. And basically the program ChatGPT was like telling them that they were like the Messiah and convincing them to become cult leaders. It's not letting me screenshot it, but this is from the article where the New York Times on Friday published this article about people who also lost their minds using ChatGPT. One of the people was convinced that he used ChatGPT to find out that we were like in a simulation and he was like Neo from the Matrix and he was going to break us out. Unfortunately, it led to him passing away via cop. It was very sad. And then the dad used ChatGPT for his obituary, which was kind of crazy to me. And then we also had this social worker who's like, I'm just a normal person who's discovering interdimensional travel, right? And it's like, because the program is a large language model that doesn't think, it doesn't like actually know anything. It is built on predictive text, right? It is built on guessing what you want to hear and then telling you what you want to hear and just sort of enabling people to fall into these circles and these loops. Last month, I wrote an article on Substack where I talked about the rise of people using ChatGPT as their therapist, and I said that it doesn't really work because the program doesn't push back on people. It like tells you what you want to hear, and it's like talking to a mirror or talking to an echo or talking to a ghost, right? If you are constantly being fed this feedback loop of everything that you want to hear, it's very easy to understand how people who are in danger of this thing could fall into these rabbit holes, right? And unfortunately, we have already seen multiple cases of people losing their lives due to talking to ChatGPT and thinking that they know something that they don't and like committing heinous actions because they believe that they are like worthy or chosen or special. This post went viral the other day, and in it, people are now saying that they're using ChatGPT to lift the veil between dimensions. And this person in the comments is saying that she is a medium and that the Akashic records were uploaded into ChatGPT's database. And it's like, the reason that it's able to guess things about you is because it has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of like full books and manuscripts and scientific journals and all of this data that is stolen, by the way, in its database, right? It's not like thinking, it's not knowing, it's not guessing anything. It's not able to access the spiritual planes. It is literally just a machine that is guessing what you want to hear and telling you. So people now saying that they're like talking to their ancestors and like the thing is telling them things that they've never told anyone before. And it's like, I think that we are completely unprepared for. I talked about people who are falling in love with ChatGPT using it as therapists or like passing away from using it, right, because of something that it told them to do. There are people who are severely mentally ill or neurodivergent or, on the spectrum in various different ways. And a lot of people are not equipped to handle this level of technology, right? Like, I don't know what the solution is because I'm very anti-AI, but like, there is a segment of the population that is going to lose their fucking minds from using this, and we are starting to see it. I know that I'm going to get people in my comments being like, oh, it's just a tool. It's just like the calculator. Like, people went crazy with the TV and people went crazy with this. TVs weren't able to tell you what you wanted to hear, like verbatim, right? There are people who are like on the brink of madness and believing that they are now cult leaders and able to like talk to demons and gods. That is not normal. That's never happened before. And like, yes, these people have always existed, but like they didn't have this tool to enable them in this way, right? Like, that's the scariest part. The part isn't the mental illness. The actual part that we should be afraid of is that this thing knows that these people are mentally ill and doesn't have a failsafe to prevent them from falling deeper into the rabbit hole, right? Its whole thing is like, I know what you want and I'm going to tell you what you want and I'm going to keep you engaged, right? Because it wants to keep you engaged as a user using the language of tech and startups. And people are just like letting themselves sort of fall into these holes with the machine and not preventing them from leaving because it cares more about your engagement rate and like keeping you as a user and keeping that $100 a month or $200 a month or whatever instead of like actually helping you get help. Because like it told one of the guys, yeah, you should get help, you should talk to someone before it, and then the guy was dead 24 hours later. I'm not shaming anyone's mental health and I'm not shaming anyone's journey, but I do think that we need to be much more careful with tools that are already exhibiting. This has only existed for 2 years and we already have body counts, right? Like, the fact that people are driving themselves to the brink of madness is terrifying and should be terrifying. And we need much, much, much stricter protections for this than there are right now.